Alright guys, so sometimes we get a cover that's explosive and fans go nuts. Sometimes you get covers that you're not sure, if you like it or not, but usually with The Walking Dead, they got really awesome covers. Some of the covers, however, like 153 here, immediately I'm like, okay, I'm liking this cover, but then there's a little bit of hint of mystery there. More, in my opinion, than usual. And that's this puddle of blood. It's as if Rick came across a puddle of blood, obviously, and there's mystery there. Who does it belong to? What happened? But there is also that expression that he might just be dwelling on something, looking at a crime scene. You know what I'm saying? So there's two possibilities. The one I'm hoping for is something we've been talking about in the past with the Whispers, because of how the Whispers are designed with or structured, I should say, with the wearing the skin, using walkers as camouflage, living out in the wild like savages, having tents and camps, and they can just come out of the woods and attack and then retreat, and they're mobile, so they don't really have like a headquarters that the survivors can locate and lock down. At least at this point, we don't know of one, because everything we've seen so far, even though we've seen bigger camps, those they can always just pick up and move if they felt that the survivors knew exactly where they were. So I'm kind of hoping that this puddle of blood and this image is going to go into a story where it's a little more mysterious. Some of it could be clearly, now this might be a stretch, where Rick doesn't know for sure if it's the Whispers. It could, by coincidence, be another band of survivors that came through. But Rick knows, like 90% he's sure it's the Whispers that attacked. But there's that little bit of percentage where he's unsure. I say that's a stretch because this most likely, if you take this cover and then connect it with 152, which is the propaganda cover with Silence the Whispers, since he wants to build an army, he's also trying to keep his people from revolting against him. We have this puddle of blood, and it does say Heavy Hangs the Head, I believe is the title. Heavy Hangs the Head, to me, would symbolize a choice that Rick has to make. The blood on the floor would be blood he spilt, since he was, and again, I'm spitballing here, we're going to dissect these when we do the prediction videos, when we know more, because it's, with a comic book, one thing can happen and it changes everything, because there's only 22 pages. But anyway, so let's just say he is covered in blood on issue 150, and now with the title Heavy Hangs the Head, he's not beat up and injured. It doesn't look like it. That might be a cut there. I'm not sure. Let me zoom in. Honestly, he doesn't look beat up. In the cover of 150, on the cover of 150, he looks beat up a little, especially around his eyes and his face. On this cover, he doesn't look beat up, so that puddle of blood might be from him. If he is betrayed in 150 and he beats their ass, and 153's cover would be him reflecting on that, a symbolism for that, him reflecting on what he's done, and also the the subtitle Heavy Hangs the Head. That's a quote they usually talk about, referring to the leaders. I guess it came from kings when they wear a crown. Heavy hangs the head. I believe that's where it came from. So I'm thinking, since that has to do with leaders, taking the blood on 150, being betrayed, the propaganda on 152, I'm starting to see a story that might, and I say might, because this is we're trying to build so much detail out of a little bit. We're only getting a cover, which isn't even it's not even an exact panel from the comic. It could be totally, not related to the comic book. We've gotten covers that had nothing to do with the comic book. The most famous one is the Abraham holding Rick back with the child's arms, as if Carl died or something tragic happened. Nothing like that happens in the comic. So I'm guessing we get a betrayed Rick, and then he does something. What we'd have to get into 152 might focus on the hilltop with Dwight. So it might fall back a little from what Rick did at Alexandria. That's 151. We go into 152 with him getting his people ready for the idea that we're going to go to war with them. So he's going to be putting Negan's advice into play, with all of them, not just with Eugene. Which, by the way, I do want to mention, I don't believe that stuff with Eugene was 100% a lie. I believe a lot of that was truth. Rick does want to deal with the Whisperers. That's absolute truth. Rick already talked about building a supply of ammunition. They're already stockpiling it. So when he mentioned that to Eugene, I know a lot of people were like, oh, he's taking Negan's advice and he's flat out lying. And that's not a lie in my opinion. I really think that was Rick using Negan's advice in a comfortable way to him without breaking down some of his own personal morals and beliefs. You know what I'm saying? But once he's betrayed, he'll fully embrace the dark side. Wait, wrong franchise. Once he's once he's betrayed, he's gonna fully embrace Negan's advice, and after that, we will see him. And I'm hoping he just whoops ass, you know, drops the cane and beats ass, puts people in place. After that, we'll see something happen with Dwight that will change his mind, because the cover of 142 leads us to believe that Dwight is now, you know, back at his post, because it looks like they're doing a perimeter check and then they're painting the propaganda on the walls. So that looks like the start, at least from the cover, of the propaganda movement, again, of Rick ushering in Negan's advice into play. And then 153 would be Rick reflecting back on the decisions he done and realizing that whatever's going on here, and again, I'm missing pieces because I don't know the story, but whatever's going on here between what happened or what went down at Alexandria and Rick's choices for the future that they take like immediately to secure the future at Alexandria is going to be a game changer. Because I believe Robert Kirkman mentioned something that happens in issue 150 is a game changer, and it takes the story in a different direction. I have my old video on that. I'm actually going to go back and rewatch that, but go back and check that out. And also, I do want to let you guys know, I have a special 150 video coming, just a special celebration video. You'll know when it comes out. I think it's going to be really cool. So just a few days after 150 drops, keep an eye out for that. Also, I'm going to do the collection video for the Walking Dead comics. Everyone's asking me for a full comic collection video, and I'm going to do that once a year. So I want to do that in January after 150 drops, so that way I can show you the full entire Walking Dead collection plus the new ones I got. So if you're keeping up with those videos, that's for you. And also, they posted a comic book. Yeah, comic book. They're making comic books now. A coloring book. But it's $15.99. Let me double check. Yeah, that's 96 pages. May 4th, black and white. It's for mature audiences. It's $15.99, and it's an oversized adult coloring book that features art from throughout the long-running series to be enjoyed like never before. Now listen, I think this is absolutely awesome. I'm definitely getting one of these books, and I will review it on this channel. I might not sit down and color it, you know, but I want to get one of these books and add that to the collection. Plus, I'm real curious. I might even take a page out, color it with my daughter. You never know. So I might just get two so I can keep one, you know, the collector in me. Keep one on the side and color one with my daughter. Anyhow, back to the comic. I want to hear what you guys think about issues 150. That's coming tomorrow. If you're watching this Wednesday, January 13th, The Walking Dead issue 150 is going to be released with 5 variant covers. I believe it's 5. We're going to cover all the variants in tomorrow's video. I'm going to post a video on the variants right before the review. Keep an eye out for the review. 150's coming out. And also, tell me what you guys think about issue 150, 151, 152, and 153. We got a couple covers, and I strongly believe that there is a message. Maybe I'm not seeing it clearly, but there's a message hidden in those covers. It's definitely hinting at something. I feel very confident in what we're talking about in this video, that it is very similar to something like that. Now again, I'm really anxious to get to the part in the story where the Whispers are back to being creepy and they're a real active threat. Right now they're a threat, but they're not active. They're out there somewhere, but I can't wait till we're at that point. And again, we had all-out war, so this wouldn't be all-out war. What this would be is you have the Whispers, they're out there, they're plucking people off, they're doing little mini raids. Maybe Rick even has to cover up one of the kills. I think that would be absolutely great. If Rick knows this will be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and he actually has to cover up a body or cover up a murder somehow. Maybe it's a character who didn't really, become friends with a lot of people, or maybe he just says, oh, I sent him to the hilltop to do some work, he'll be back in a little while, and then later on down the road he'll admit that the person was killed. But if he has to cover up a killing, I think that is pretty interesting. Maybe he finds blood and then he has to get it cleaned up. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, and I could keep spitballing for 20 minutes. The cover, by the way, to the coloring book for The Walking Dead, I love this cover. It's a few years old, so if it looks familiar, that's why. But it's got 96 pages. Then issue 150 drops tomorrow. Also, keep in mind, I'm showing a lot of love to the comic book this week. I do have a video coming about the TV show, so fear not. I know if I'm like a day late because I'm showing love to, the comic or the show, and then comic fans are like, whoa, where's this video? And then show fans are like, whoa, where's this video? Trust me, it's all coming. I just got to pick and choose where I'm showing my love because of what's popping right now. Like 150, it's dropping tomorrow. Like, it's here. The Walking Dead Season 6, it's still weeks away. February 14th is not going to come any faster just because I make a video on it. You see what I'm saying? So let's have a little patience. The TV show content will come very soon, but I want to get over this comic book hump first. Show love to the comic book, especially at issue 150. I'm going to shut up. Thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now.